Hi, I'm Terry, and I am on a journey to a better me, a better health, a better way of looking at life, a better way of managing my home and my family. I am looking to improve on things. Not that I think I'm failing or doing a terrible job, but you get to a point in your life where you're just like, things got to change. I'm not getting any younger. I need to eat healthier and I want to be a good example to my children. So I need to learn how to cook healthier foods and budget more wisely so we can pay off our debt. I've accumulated a ton of clutter. I'm not a hoarder, but I do hold on to things quite a bit. I always say if it wasn't for my husband, I probably would be a hoarder. And there's a little bit of shame in that and a little bit of I like stuff. I, it's not really the stuff I like. I just don't like to let go of things. I have a process to let go of things at this point. I will box things up or bag things up, put them in my storage room or put them out the front door, and I leave them sit there for a couple of weeks until I don't care about them anymore or until I realize how much cleaner things look without all those things or how much nicer it is to put things away with the closet not full. And then I can let go. If you have anxiety with getting rid of things, this is a great trick to try because for the longest time, I couldn't let go of anything. I would have a major panic attack just putting things out on the curb, even to give it away to other people who could use it. So by collecting things that I know I don't want, or I know I don't like, or I know I don't use, I'll put them in a box and I'll put them in a bag and put them out of the way. So I'm not looking at them every day. So then if you do remember something in the middle of the night, you have this random thought, oh, that outfit when she was little, oh, I really don't want to get rid of that. You can still go get it. But after a few weeks, you don't think about it anymore. If anything, you forget what's even in the box. So then you know it's not important and you know it doesn't matter. So I call up whatever charity I'm using that particular month or day and schedule a time for them to come pick it up. And then I know in the days before leading up to when they're coming, I know I can still kind of go through that stuff and pick out a couple of things. It takes a long time. But if you're like me and have difficulty getting rid of things, it works. It really, really, really works. It just takes practice and it takes time. And don't be hard on yourself if you're not willing to get rid of things. Be patient, but still be willing to try and keep going through the process. You may pull back half of the stuff the first couple of times, but the next time you'll let go of a little bit more. If you try to push yourself or force yourself, you're not going to do it. You're going to give up because it's so difficult and it causes so much stress and anxiety. And when things cause us stress and anxiety, we're less likely to do them. I know it is like that for me. So, that's a little tip for you. But I am trying to declutter. I have three kids. It's amazing what they can accumulate. And it seems like every 6 months or so, we're having to go through everything that doesn't fit them anymore. They don't play with it anymore. I don't know about your kids, but my kids don't even play with anything anymore. It's mostly their games and their computers and things like that. There may be a couple little trinkets that they like here and there, a couple little things that they want to keep to remind them what they played with when they were little, and that's fine. But you got to find places to put these things, and how many of these things can we really hold on to? Like my daughters want to hold on to books that they haven't read since elementary school or kindergarten. I'm like, it's got to go. Keep one or two that mean something to you and then get rid of the rest. But I digress. I am on a mission, like I said, and I am welcoming you to join me on this mission. I'm going to take things one step at a time. And my first thing is learning how to cook with minimal, not just ingredients, but I guess low cost that are still filling, that are still tasty and, fit our dietary requirements in our home. So that's mission number one. Mission number two is, of course, the cleaning up and decluttering of my home. And that's been a challenge. I've actually done a few things already, but I find that once I clean and organize a space, it very quickly becomes cluttered again, just from going through it or going in and out and pulling things or adding to that space as I clean other spaces. So you can come with me on the journey to reorganize my organized spaces. So that should be fun. And of course, my prepper pantry, my long-term storage, food and items for emergencies. I learned many years ago, way before COVID, when Hurricane Sandy kind of came through my area and we were without power for days. Some of my neighbors, it was weeks, but for us, it was just a few days. And I had small children and I had to warm up their baby food on the grill and things like that. I had enough food and we had enough ways of managing our home during that time, but it taught us a lot. We went out the next day and bought a kerosene heater in case during the winter if the power went out, which it does go out here with ice storms. I do know to ventilate with a kerosene heater, but we felt that that was the best thing for us because at the time our chimney hadn't been cleaned, so can't really use the fireplace at the time. And obviously we didn't have a generator. So we thought that that was the best option for us. And we still have it and we've used it many, many times since. And it was a wonderful purchase. So I learned from then. So maybe about 10 years ago, I learned. So when COVID came, I was fine. I had enough toilet paper. I had enough food. You know, I didn't go to the store until weeks later and of course saw all the empty shelves, but could still find things to eat. We're not very picky. You know, you do what you have to do. You know, we're very fortunate, those of us who live in the United States. Even where I am, I'm not in a very rural area. There's lots of supermarkets where I am. There's lots of little stores and little corner places that you can go to for food. So the whole supply chain thing doesn't affect me as much, and I'm not as fearful of that. I'm more fearful of not being able to get to the store. You know, what if something happens to my health? And what if something happens to our jobs? What if something happens where we just can't buy anything? Right now, I have a lot of credit card debt. Some things came up and we had to use our credit cards. Thank God we had the credit cards to use, but now I have to pay off those bills. And the sad thing is that it is our food budget that takes the hit every single time. And it's so unfortunate that that's the reality we live in, but that's the reality we live in. And that's not just for us in the United States. That hits everybody all over the world. That's why there's so much food insecurity. Because when it comes to things, food seems to be the last thing that we consider or the last thing that is made available to us. It's like it's only considered as a last resort. Like, oh no, you don't have food, you know, let's give it to you once you've completely run out. Now we'll give you something. And it shouldn't be an afterthought. It should be the first thing. Food and shelter, food and shelter. I don't understand why it's so complicated, but it is. It is. People want money, and I understand businesses want to make money, but making money at the sacrifice of people's well-being doesn't sit very well with me. But anyway, back to my journey. My prepper pantry is in progress. It is completely disorganized. I have a video that shows it to you, and that's just one of my little storage areas. I have a very small house. It's only about 1,200 square feet. So storage space is a problem for me. So I'm trying to be super creative with where I keep my food. I've kind of mishmashed a few things together to try to make some space. And it seems to be working out. I just have to organize it. We just moved around some things in the house. Like I said, I'm decluttering and I got rid of a lot of stuff. So now I need to reorganize and find out where things go that makes sense. Because a lot of times you put things someplace and it doesn't make sense where it is and you still can't find it, or people are putting it back in the wrong place. So sometimes I find that organizing is a process in itself. Because you can organize a closet, make it look all pretty and perfect, and then you realize, wait a second, why do I got to keep going into that other room to get that thing I need? Why can't I need to find a place for it in here? So that's my journey, and you're welcome to come along with me. I appreciate any tips, tricks, and any kind of advice. along the way. I believe in community. I believe in sharing ideas. No, I'm not opposed to sharing my ideas. I love researching, so I love finding out new things and information, and I'd be happy to push them along to you. I I believe that when we share things together and when we pull together, we can only grow and be better people. So this is my mission. This is my next step in my life. My husband has encouraged me to share my stories with others. I don't know if it's to get me to shut up or he says he believes that I have a lot of interesting things to say and that people might benefit from some of the things and ideas that I have. So I'm going to give it a try and see how it goes and hopefully make a difference. And hopefully you'll make a difference in my life just the same. And with that, I'll be busy this weekend. I have a wedding to go to, so traveling isn't fun for me. It is very, very scary. But when I come back, I will start with my budget and work out the food and come up with a plan for the month of November. So that should be exciting, finding foods that everybody likes to eat without breaking the bank. So you all have a wonderful, wonderful day and a beautiful weekend. And I wish you all well. Bye for now.